fact that we do what we just did and what comes up is what comes up, that is insanely shady, man. So Elon Musk and Donald Trump broke the internet last night. They've got 1 billion views, 1 billion views, 1 billion views on the conversation that they had on X, and the X space that they did. I want to show you guys a portion of the Donald Trump conversation that they had about Donald Trump, where he discusses getting shot. I thought it shows a ton about his personality, and you also get to see what he thinks about the entire thing, whether he suspects a conspiracy, whether he suspects the Secret Service, whether he thinks that there was just failings across the board, what he thought about the crowd, what he thought about getting shot, all of it, you know? Do you guys know a lot of people who have had someone attempt to kill them? And I mean, like, obviously a lot of us know soldiers that have probably been deployed. For whatever reason, this feels different, you know what I mean? Because in a soldier's life, it's impersonal. Right? I mean, nothing's more personal than someone trying to end your life. But if a team guy with his group, with his team go in trying to, capture and kill someone, capture or kill or whatever, and they get shot at, they are a member of the other team. It's as simple as that. It's very different, in my opinion, if someone is like, that's Jesse on fire. I want to shoot him in the head in front of everyone. That's way more personal. You know what I mean? Like someone tries to target you personally, not member of SEAL Team 6 or member of Ranger Battalion, whatever. You know what I mean? I don't know. So I think it tells a lot about him listening to him talk about this that I thought was very interesting. Honestly, the reason why I like these long form conversations is for that exact reason. I just want to know who they are, man. I just want to know who they are. I want to understand what they're like when there's no cameras around, when no one's trying to break their balls, when they're just having a conversation. So I want to show you guys that. And then we are going to take a look at this, okay? So remember this? I don't know if you guys all saw this because the mainstream media and the internet did a really, really good job of making sure everyone knew that this is not actually Thomas Crooks, except that it 100% is Thomas Crooks. There's no question about that if you look at this photograph, okay? Look at the nose. This is the same person. So we're going to look into this and start to understand whether or not Thomas Crooks may or may not have been in like a costume the day that he took the shots, because this would be the actual version. And at that point, you have to ask yourself, what are we really looking at, right? Because there's been this widespread thing of these like, guys that think they're girls or girls that think they're guys going on these rampages. So we're going to look at that. We're going to do like an image search for it. We're going to find out one way or the other, at least the best that we can, whether or not this is really Thomas Crooks in drag. All right. So let's jump over to the conversation between Donald Trump and Elon Musk. And we're going to start right there because I've got it all queued up for where they talk about when Trump almost got assassinated. And then we're going to move over to the other thing. If you do not mind subscribing to the channel, that would be incredible, because the last time I asked somebody if they had subscribed to the channel, they said no. And so I threw my water bottle directly in their face. Okay. So that's what can happen. Hey, Jesse on fire. I'm like, hey, you watch my stuff? Oh yeah. You subscribed? I think so. Let me see your YouTube. I'm just kidding. I would never do that, dude. But I would appreciate it if you would subscribe. So let's rock and roll, and boom.
That's great.
Well, thank you. Maybe we could start off with, the assassination attempt, which was an incredible thing. And I have to say that, your actions after that assassination attempt were inspiring. You, instead of shying away from things, instead of ducking down, you were pumping your fist in the air and saying, fight, fight, fight. And I think that's, the president of the United States represents America, and I think that is America. That is strength under fire, and so that's a big part of the reason why I was excited to endorse you as the president of the United States for having another term here. Is that was just incredibly inspiring. But what was it like for you?
Not pleasant. I have to be honest. I said it was.
I love that, dude. Not pleasant. I got shot. Not very pleasant. Someone put a bullet through my ear. So not ideal would be my answer to that. But I agree with Elon in that I thought it was amazing to see him react that way also, because how else are you going to battle test these guys?
Blood. I had more blood. I didn't know I had that much blood. The doctors later told me that the ear is a place that is a very bloody place if you're going to get hit. But in this case, it was probably the best alternative you could even think about, because it went at the right angle, and it was a hard hit. It was very, I guess you would say, surreal, but it wasn't surreal. I was telling somebody, you have instances like this, or like a lot less than this, where you feel it's a surreal situation, and I never felt that way. I knew immediately that it was a bullet. I knew immediately that it was at the ear.
Yeah. And
because it hit very hard, but hit the ear. And I also heard people shout, bullets, bullets, get down, because I moved down pretty nicely, pretty quickly. And we had bullets flying right over my head after I went down. So I'm glad I went down. The bigger miracle was that I was looking in the exact direction of the shooter. And so it hit me at an angle that was far less destructive than any other angle. So that was the miracle. That was, for those people that don't believe in God, I think we got to all start thinking about that. You have to, I'm a believer. Now I'm more of a believer, I think, and a lot of people have said that to me. A lot of great people have said that to me, actually. But it was amazing that I happened to be turned just at that perfect angle. And all because I put down a chart on immigration that showed that the numbers were so great. I love that chart even more now.
Maybe it's a sign.
He's so funny, dude. Makes me love that chart even more. He speaks in constant hyperbole, and it's just the funniest thing to me ever, dude. He's so entertaining, man.
Maybe that's a sign,
It's an immigration sign.
You highlighted a serious issue, and at that moment, the bullet missed your, hit your ear, but missed your head. I mean,
the amazing thing is that the sign, I said, bring down that sign on immigration, and it was literally about an eighth of a second where it would be good, and after that it was going to be a disaster, no matter which way you were facing. But it just had that perfect angle, which was exactly at this shooter. Very sad situation. Such a sad situation. As you know, we lost somebody that was great, Corey, who a firefighter.
So if he wouldn't have turned his head, it's like, he goes like this, bang. It's like, it just would have hit him straight in the temple. So, trans or not, apparently the guy was a good shot, just miracle timing, because good triumphs over evil. You know what I mean? Even if evil happens to be a brainwashed dimwit working for the deep state. You know what I mean?
A great gentleman, a great Trumper. He was just a fantastic family and a fantastic man. And a friend of mine came up, Elon, and said, I'd like to give the family some kind of help. And I said, all right, that's great. He said, do you mind? I said, I don't mind at all. And he wrote out a check for $1 million, gave it to the wife. And, she said, this is really nice, but I'd rather have my husband back, which is a nice thing for somebody to say, to be honest. She's great. The family is great. And we raised a lot of money for them and for two other gentlemen.
Damn. That is, it's obvious, but I'm not actually going to not talk about
Are unbelievable people also. They were hit really badly. They thought they were not going to make it, and they did. The doctors in the Butler area, I tell you, they were incredible. They saved the two, and they were really hit tough, both of them, equally. And we thought, my first question was, because I heard bullets flying over me. I said, how many people were killed? Because we had a massive crowd there, a tremendous, thousands and thousands of people. And there was no land. It was all people. So I said, how many people have been killed? Because I knew there were other shots being fired. And they said, we don't know yet, but some people have been badly hurt. And I have to give the Secret Service sniper, they call him, or sharpshooter, but sniper,
Yeah.
because he didn't know there was a problem. He's an extraordinary shot, obviously, and he didn't know there was a problem. And he was
Yeah.
able to pick it all out within 5 seconds. And he used one bullet from very far away, I guess probably about 400 yards. The shooter was 130, but he was on the he was on the opposite side of the field and the podium. And he saw the smoke and the flame from the gun, immediately recognized it, and immediately took a shot. And it was one perfect shot from very far away.
Really? Well, that's interesting because it certainly begs the question, why on earth would you have an unprotected building 130 yards from the president and your counter sniper is 400 yards from the most obvious places someone would take a shot? That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But again, nothing about that day makes sense.
And if he didn't do that, Elon, he would have. I mean, if he would have, a lot more people could have been badly hurt and killed. So I have to take my hat off to him, because that's also a surreal. You know, he's been with them for 23 years, and he's never had anything like this. And all of a sudden he has to act, and it's a very tough thing to act and to be shooting somebody. But he saw the gun, saw the smoke, saw the flame from the gun, very far away. Obviously has very good eyes. He's got very good vision, which I assume you have to have in that particular work. But he took aim very quickly, and they say it was approximately 5 seconds from long range, one bullet. If that didn't happen, because the shooter had a lot of bullets, he had a lot of cartridges up there with him. So.
Well, I mean, that's clearly,
I have not heard this, so I'm very curious what Elon's going to say here, but I just have to ask, what, again, I mean, I wish I had a diagram of the area, but how on earth is he 400 yards away? That is a good point that the guy's he'd been in the Secret Service for 23 years. Now, again, that's a long time to make good relationships, if you know what I mean. You know, if hypothetically you did have a big group of people who were in on this thing, it sounds like Trump has faith that the guy was not in on it. So I'm not going to argue with the guy, obviously. But I obviously am extraordinarily suspicious of the entire thing. And let's see what Elon says here.
He was very confident in taking that shot to stop the attempted assassination. But I mean, there does seem to be some pretty significant failings elsewhere in the system. Like, there's just no way that, like, how on earth does a shooter get on a roof 130 yards away? That seems crazy. I think most people people are wondering how on earth could such a thing happen.
Oh my God, I am so excited to hear him talk about this. We're gonna definitely have to go reshoot the introduction to this video because guess what? Now I know Trump's gonna talk about the failings of the Secret Service the day of the shooting. Let's go.
Well, I view it as two ways. There should have been nobody on the roof. There were people, because there were so many tens of thousands of people there. There were people that were seeing him. And there was one woman with a red shirt and Trump all over it. And she's screaming, that guy's got a gun. You saw it probably. There's a guy up there with a gun.
I mean, it's like, I guess, for my part, and I think probably many members of the public are wondering, how the heck are, basically people wondering by pointing out there's a guy on the roof with a gun. And they're seeing it, but somehow it's not being addressed. That does seem crazy.
Well, they're going to learn from this. The communication between the local police, who sort of had an idea, and then ultimately a man lifted himself up to the roof, could barely do it because he was pulling himself up, and he saw the man with the gun. The man with the gun pointed the gun at him. He thought he was probably going to get shot. But, he was like pulling himself up. And because of that, he couldn't get to his gun. and he fell down. Actually, very badly hurt his leg, his ankle. I hear very badly,
Okay.
but he fell down. And he did, from what I understand, he did say there's a guy up there with a gun.
It's crazy that Trump has seen so much less of this than us. Do you know what I mean? Like, I understand he's very busy. Obviously, he's a hell of a lot busier than us. But you could tell he has not seen all of the stuff that we've seen, And I don't know, man. Like, he's in a position to know these people better. He sounds like he trusts these guys. And I hope that is earned. You know what I mean? I hope that it's good to be trusting these guys, because I don't. I don't. I think you had a widespread group of people, high-level conspiracy to put him in the ground. And you just don't know who was in on it. I would be so suspicious of everyone. That would not be a good time in my life if that happened to me.
And the shooting started very quickly after that. I think it forced the shooter to go maybe quicker. You're supposed to be a very good shot.
Yeah.
My sons, Don and Eric, they can't believe what happened, but they said from 130 yards, a bad shot would hit that target almost every time.
That's a fact.
They said it's like in golf, sinking a 2-foot putt.
Yeah.
Correct. That is exactly right. 130 yards, a human being, that is not challenging at all. Not even remotely challenging.
It's not a tough shot.
It's not a long shot. The Secret Service person had the long shot. He had triple the distance, actually. So
Can't understand that.
It was a terrible thing. It's hard. I have to say this about the Secret Service. When I went down, and I went down based on, I think, they're screaming, but other people also, because people saw this happen. You had so many people. One of the miracles was that nobody ran. I mean, if a gun goes off, the crowd control people showed us this. When guns go off, and it does happen in stadiums at a soccer match or some kind of a match, everybody flees. They call it a stampede, like cattle. But everybody, and a lot of people get killed with those stampedes. We had more people than you'd have at, some of these matches or these games, and nobody left. You had a small group behind us in the grandstand, and that was full. And you look at it as it was taking place, and normally they'd be running. They didn't leave. They saw that I was hurt. They saw a lot of blood, and they saw that I went down. And it's almost like they wanted to be with me. Well, out front,
that would move me too, dude. If they started if everybody was there to watch me talk, someone shoots me, and then I look out and the entire crowd has stuck in there and they're just there. Like, let's make sure our guy is all right. Man, that would mean a lot. I've heard him talk about that before, actually.
Tens of thousands of people. As far as the eye could see, you had people in Butler. As far as the eye could see, and a lot of press too. There were many cameras on watching this. It's what makes it so different, because normally things happen that aren't good, but you never have a picture of it. Here we have all these cameras shooting it, so sort of amazing. But one of the interesting things was that you didn't have anybody flee. You didn't have anybody stampede.
Sure.
Nobody. And there were some people behind me. They stood up and they're looking like, I'll tell you, you want to have them in a foxhole with you. I want to meet some of those people because it's so different from what you heard. But so I was down. But the Secret Service guys, there were bullets flying right over my head. You could hear them go whizzing, and these guys came jumping on top of me, and a young lady, Kate. Would jump. They moved so fast, and let me tell you, that took tremendous courage. Now, there was a lack of coordination. There was, obviously everybody understands that somebody that building should have been covered. And that was the big thing.
He really does not want to speak negatively about them. He really sounds like he wants to give them the benefit of the doubt, or he is giving them the benefit of the doubt, which is amazing because no one else is. You know what I mean? He just does not sound at all like the person that they try to pretend that he is in the media. As you always hear, he's not that person.
Looking at the aerial views, that building would be like the #1 spot for a sniper. I mean, it's like if you were to pick like what is the favorite place, so if the goal is to assassinate, what's your favorite spot? That building.
You're right.
That building would be #1.
That would have been the spot.
It's like you can ask for a better location. It's like
no, that would have been the spot. You know what people think is when the local policeman, who by the way, he really he did what he was supposed to do. He couldn't hold on any longer. And then when he got his head just peeking above, this guy standing there with a gun at his head. And when he fell down, again, hurt his ankle very badly, but he was making the calls. But what happened is the firing took place very soon. So what they think is that this guy ran to his site, which he had all planned out with the gun. He ran to the site and he started shooting fast. And maybe that's why he sort of missed. I mean, he got me, but it could have been. It could have been a much bigger problem.
But he totally would have hit if you hadn't turned your head. So, there was it was a very near thing.
It was a miracle. If I hadn't turned my head, I would not be talking to you right now. As much as I like you,
exactly,
I would not. I would not be talking to you.
Dude, I don't know how anybody doesn't like this guy, man. I really don't. What is there to not like, man? He's like this sounds like a bad guy to you. I don't understand, man. I really don't.
Talking to me from another realm, perhaps.
Yeah, that's right. We'd be talking from a different place. But it was a very terrible experience. The Butler Hospital, they did such a great job. The doctors were so good. Everybody was so good. There was a mistake. If somebody knew, because people were hearing that, there was just a bad feeling that somebody was around. You know that story now. It's been And if somebody could have said, because they've oftentimes said, like there'd be a lightning storm or something, because I've done, I think, over 300. I think I did a lot more than that, but we did a lot. And oftentimes they'll say, sir, could you wait 10 minutes, please? Sir, could you wait 20 minutes? There's a storm overhead or lightning or something, right? And that happens often. Yeah. And this would have been a perfect time for that to have happened, but it didn't. It didn't get coordinated. That was the problem.
Well, it was. I think.
I don't know, man. I think that. I think he's being too easy on everyone. I think that he is discounting the idea that there might have been real coordination, and I think there was. So it's as simple as that. But listen, dude, that guy is the man. And now we are going to move over to this particular story right here. So here is what we're going to do. All right. So we are going to go and we are going to image search this. Okay. Once and for all, I have not done this. I'm going to tell you that right now. Okay. I have not done this. We are going to image search this right here. So we go here. I don't know if you guys knew you could do this, but we are going to do exactly that. We're going to go over here to the picture of the trans Thomas Crooks, and we are going to image search it in Google. So let's see what happens. Oh, really? All they show is the choker, huh? Here we go. Okay, so this says, anyone know why they aren't using this photo of the shooter? I wonder. This can't be him. I guess they don't want to associate this crime with people. If not the shooter, who is the lady? He's so pretty. Doesn't look like... Yes, it absolutely looks like him. That's just not true, dude. That's absolutely not true. Here, hang on. Let me go back and see if there are... see if there are others that we have to look at. But it looks like they're only doing that choker, which is unbelievable. Okay, so now let's do a different one. Let's do the one where you can see both him and that picture. Oh God, do it. Do you see that? Look at. Why is this doing this to me? This is making it really hard to look at this. Feeling cute. Might go to a Trump rally later. is so good. Feeling cute, might go to a Trump rally later. Oh my God, that's the funniest thing I've ever seen, dude. Feeling cute, might go to a Trump rally later. That is so funny, dude. That is so funny. They have, here's the thing. I'm going to tell you right now. Oh, that's not him? That's not him? How do you know that's not him? Here's the thing. That picture came from somewhere. I'll tell you exactly what this means. That picture came from somewhere. The fact that you cannot find anything on it, a picture like that went viral, because I saw that picture go viral. Okay? The fact that when you Google search it, you can't find anything, that is insanely shady, dude. Super, super, super shady. Like, I don't believe it. Okay? I don't believe it. Okay? Bottom line, the fact that we do what we just did and what comes up is what comes up, that is insanely shady, man. Like really, really, really shady.